It's that time of year again to bring the HBCU energy. Target has you covered from a range of Black owned or founded products alongside impactful opportunities to support and invest in the next generation of HBCU excellence. Whether it's homecoming or brunch with the girls, add an exclamation point to the menu with Ghetto Gastro's waffle mix and syrup and Slutty Vegan's tasty dips. Even better, make it a party with fun games like Lyrically Correct and Culture Karaoke. Discover more ways to tap in with Black owned or founded products for your next social gathering. And oh, by the way, did you know Target is bringing back the HBCU Design Challenge? A creative competition pairing HBCU students with Target mentors. Keep an eye out for Target Scholars as well, a scholastic program offering financial assistance and internship opportunities for HBCU students.
Hey, so I heard from a little birdie that Illuminating Intersectionality is coming back.
Oh yes, it's me. So Illuminating Intersectionality season 2 is coming back. We just got out the studio actually. It is
Word.
hosted by a friend, Franiqua of Hey Friend Hey in the Friend Zone podcast. It is hosted by Dr. Takia, who hosts Getting Grown alongside myself, Chef Jade, and we each essentially host an episode, and the foundation of this conversation is HBCUs. So we come through the lens of intersectionality, and we talk about, Kia talks about unsung women in the HBCU spaces. Fran talks about the foreign-born experience and how that ties into the HBCU experience because, you know, the diaspora. And then, you know, I came through with food and culture and got a lot of really good vantage points. So it drops homecoming week, and I'm very excited for you all to hear all 3 episodes. Everybody produced their own episode, wrote their own episode, did their own good research, and it's like really good information across the board.
Well, I can't wait to check it out. So make sure you all lock in with Target this homecoming season and beyond at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure. Did you sleep on the wrong side? I'm catching a bad vibe. Oh, it's contagious. What's the latest? Speak your heart. Don't bite your tongue. Don't get it twisted. Don't misuse it. What's your problem? Let's resolve it. We can solve it. What's the causes? It's official. You got issues. I got issues. Let you know that I miss you.
Change? Are you supposed to change? Who should be heard? Who should be blamed? Am I supposed to change? Are you supposed to change? Who should be heard? Who should be shamed? To change? Are you supposed to change? Who should be heard? Will we remain? Oh, I. Wah-ha-ha, 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 wah-ha, 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 wah-ha. Take it away, XD.
That's it.
It took a lot of concentration.
Yeah. Oh. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Blackest Show About Nothing. It's Jaden XD.
Meow, 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 meow.
I am your host, XD, aka Kelly Price, because there are people praying against you in your circle and your downfall.
Oh my God, we're in alignment this week because I'm Jade, aka Negative Helga.
Which is an oxymoron because Helga was negative.
So,
Hey Arnold.
Dustin, I was on the phone with Dustin the other day, and you all You all don't know the levels to how hateful we can get with one another. And I said something to him, and here you go, negative Helga. And I fell out. I almost peed on myself. And he was like, it's only an evil nigga like you who would laugh so hard at it. I was like, negative Helga, that's a good one, nigga. It's going on the AKA, nigga. So, yes.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Well, welcome back, y'all, to the Blackest Show About Nothing.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Busy. Very, very busy. Frankie and I are coming back, okay, with New Heat season 2. So, we've been working very diligently on that, and fall comes with all the things. Autumn likes to autumn, and the wind blows in multiple things. So that's what I've been focusing on. Back to school, back to projects, back to work. What else has been going on? I felt like there was something I was going to tell you that happened over the last week. Oh, I heard a mashup. I had to write it down. I wanted to share it with you all.
Mm-hmm.
I was riding in my car, and so niggas love to, like, they play Spotify. I mean, not Spotify. They play SoundCloud, playlists and things.
Yeah.
So he had one flowing that the theme of it was 2 songs blended together, so it would be the one song over another one's beat. And so it was Anita Baker's Sweet Love over Rich Gang Lifestyle.
Okay.
So it's Sweet Love, but it's over the and I was like, this has zero business going together in this way. Let me see if I can find it.
That's like, what's my new favorite, my mix, Kitty Cat? Because I be finding all the mixes on the TikTok.
Oh, that makes sense. TikTok inspired our episode for today. Oh, here it goes right here. Hold on. Hey. So yes. Yeah, that was I enjoy finding, those. Damn, I can't do that. Y'all gonna Erica into me. God damn, why she got it? Like, she ruined it.
Well, it's not like you calling the songs Coon Monkey Cratchy Nigga Coon. Like, it's you just you're not saying anything like that, are you?
Erica, no, the hell no. I'm not gonna,
I love this song. It's some crispity crackety coon crunchy shit right here. What? No.
Or I could be JT about it. This monkey ass monkey. Like, I was like, nobody's safe. Also, she deserved that because, bitch, what is wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with you?
I often find myself asking that question, about a bunch of people on the internet multiple times a day, like. And it's not necessarily a question so much as it is a statement. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's not a question. It's a statement of indignation. Like, like condemnation.
The thing is, we've seen the girl, she was getting mad over Raggedy Annie at the BET Awards, and it was a valid question that was asked. Why is the headphone over your eye?
I don't understand. Like, okay, like the other picture is fine, I guess, but that one picture, girl, it wasn't good. It wasn't good for everybody. Has outtakes.
It's like America's Next Top Model when they used to be having them do all kinds of backbends and shit.
Yeah, and then she was like, "This is a famous photographer." Yeah, okay, but even Anne Ann Leibovitz and all them and Ann Gitz or whatever, they be having outtakes with them. I'm sure Baby made a fugly face and shed on set and didn't post it. You know what I mean? You didn't have to post the fucking picture with you covering your eyeball with the damn Beats
Everything
by
doesn't
Dre.
have to be so damn deep though. Like you could laugh at it, be like, I know it looks dumb, it's over my eye, but guess what? Buy the fucking headphones, bitch. Like you could like. There's so many ways to do this where you don't just have to be like nasty and hateful and mean. You know what I mean?
It's like that story, like the wolf in the moon or the boy in the moon, where like, you know, the wolf howls at the moon and nothing happens, but the moon gets sick of it and howls back at the wolf. It's the whole story.
Oh, you're talking about white women? The tales of white women.
Yeah. Yes. Victimization. You know what I mean? And it's just like victim falsehood.
Yeah.
You know, let's go
Girl
with it.
math.
But
If one
anywho,
moon yells at one dog, then I'm sorry. I just got privy to the girl math, boy math thing, and I was like, I miss everything.
the girl math thing was funny, or the boy math, because there was like boy math raising two pit bulls, but not raising one child.
But not one child. When are y'all gonna learn to shut the fuck up? Mind your business.
My week was cool. I can't really tell you what happened. It was work filled. Like it was just getting back in the swing of things, work picking up. I think I'm trying to finally, now that I have I got rid of my white refrigerator, got me a home. I can find my way creatively. So figure out what I can do next.
Somebody asked me about you the other day. They said, "How's XD doing?" I said, he's light. He's light these days.
Yeah, I'm lighter. I have, I experience sunlight on a regular basis, My skin's clearing up thanks to this
you plant. Oh, shout out to Soiree, who made an appearance in Alaska 3000.
Alaska Thunderfuck. I feel like it's Honey's song and Alaska's on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's the way it was explained to me a while ago.
Hey girls, it's Girl Alaska.
Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, Swade is boom cacking.
I know.
With her other
and a pussycat wig.
Yeah, all of Honey's children are in the video. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like,
yes, shout out to Swade. I wanted to make sure that I shouted them out.
Yeah. Also, now that it's on my mind, it's the top of the show. October 11th. Save the date. Actually, no. Go buy tickets now because they're available.
Yes.
Black Fat Femme podcast is doing a live show, and your favorite fave is about to be on the panel with them. So it's going to be me, Shar, Jocelyn, who we all know and love, and Travella Anderson, who you all should know and love.
Yes.
We're going to be cackling down with Joho and Dr. John Paul in the Los Angeles area. So if you're in LA, October 11th, which is National Coming Out Day.
Yes, I want to come.
You should. It's going to be a good time. And the Elysian Theater is also a really great place. They support a lot of the LGBTQ folk and a lot of us brown folk. Let's go get your tickets now. Link is in the description box wherever you're listening. Also, today, September 29th, is Queer Say here in Los Angeles. The Los Angeles LGBT Center is hosting Queer Say, which is a celebration of Latinx, of the Latinx community. If you aren't aware, Latinx is also Latinx. I realize we've updated our terms, and Latinx because it's a A with the E with the accent, so it can be. Is easier to work into the Spanish language than the X would be, which makes sense in the long run. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yes, fabulous event hosted by Selena Estides.
Oh, yes.
And Valentina is an honoree. If you've ever been to a quinceañera, it's going to be a wang dang doodle. Shout out to my dear friend Oliver Delgado.
Shout out to Oliver.
Suare's husband. Yeah, Suare's husband who organized it. He's the director, one of the directors down there at the center. So if you're in the area, I'll be there. Show up and support the comunidad.
Yeah.
I hit that hoe, didn't I?
Yeah, that Babbel's been coming in handy for you, friends.
Oh, it definitely is. You better go on babbel.com/JDXD.
Feeding your brain with HelloFresh, using your Babbel. You're just a Renaissance woman.
And ordering my iced apple crisp oat milk latte from the
Yes,
Starbucks
while sipping your Daily Harvest smoothie. Ooh.
And listening to See the Thing Is.
Yes, it is. What a time. You're such a multitasker.
Yes, I am. Let's pay some bills.
Yeah, we just did, but yeah.
Real quickly, thank you for listening each and every week. We totally appreciate it. Tell a friend. Stop keeping us a secret. We're not DL. Love us out loud.
No dust in our eyes, bitches.
Yes, love us out loud. Also, subscribe to our Patreon. That's where the true mess is. Again, we started a new series, didn't know it was going to be such a hit until it was. And so we've been watching The Hills. And it's been fun watching Jade experience 2006 in real time.
No, in a different way. I experienced 2006, but it was a lot of like little Scrappy and you know, and Crime Mob and like, you know, there's other things going on, and I just wasn't fully aware of, you know, what was happening on, you know, the whiter side of things. And they are messy and like losers, and it's just fascinating to see.
Yeah, it's wonderful. But yeah, we're watching The Hills, so go on to Patreon and tune in. I forgot to ask you off camera. I'll ask you off camera. But anywho, subscribe to us on Patreon. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We hit 4,000 subscribers. There should be way more of you all. Go subscribe. Like, everybody, right now, stop what you're doing. Go to youtube.com/JadenXD and hit subscribe. Every one of you has a Gmail account. I know you do. So, and it's free. All you just have to do is just click subscribe. I'll even make it easier and put a link in the description box wherever you're listening, and it'll be a hyperlink, and it'll say, click here because XD told me to. And all of a sudden, it'll take you.
Girlfriend.
Exactly. We're not Spirit. We're Delta. Love us, okay? Like, love us out loud.
Yeah, no fights at all. Oh, I have a plug for you all. You know, you have until October 5th to hit up signalawards.com, link in the bio. And I would love it and be extremely filled with gratitude if you all would go and vote. The Black Kitchen series was nominated in 3 different categories for Best Writing, Best DE&I, and Best Motherfucking Host. So, you know, if you fuck with your girl in a heavy way, or, you know, light, whatever, go over to thesignalawards.com and make sure you vote for the Black Kitchen series. Again, I will be super grateful, and thank you to everybody who has done so far, shouted it out, all of that. I'm listened to it, supported, given feedback. I'm super grateful for you all.
Yes, run those numbers up. Go vote, because it's free. Again, it's free, y'all. Yeah. Free. Yeah. Just
use your little shopping email account, and then use your little business email account, and then use your little personal one. And you know, go vote for the kid. I voted for Lala Ree 90 times. You know what I'm saying? Pay me forward.
Yeah, I voted for Sari and all them on Big Brother like 50 times. So it's nothing. It's easy. So yeah, description link wherever you're listening. I am taking on clients. Somebody asked me that, and so I'm like, yes. So email me, xd@thexdexperience.com, and get your digital life together. With that being said, let's take a break and be back with more Jaden XD. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with Earnin. Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck, then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. I have used Earnin in the past, and it has gotten me through. I firmly believe that life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? So make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability, security, and it gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download Earnin today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in Jade XD under podcast. When you sign up, it'll really help the show. Jade XD under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max, and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
It's that time of year again to bring the HBCU energy. Target has you covered from a range of Black-owned or founded products alongside impactful opportunities to support and invest in the next generation of HBCU excellence. Whether it's homecoming or brunch with the girls, add an exclamation point to the menu with Ghetto Gastro's waffle mix and syrup and Slutty Vegan's tasty dips. Even better, make it a party with fun games like Lyrically Correct and Culture Karaoke. Discover more ways to tap in with Black-owned or founded products for your next social gathering. And oh, by the way, did you know Target is bringing back the HBCU Design Challenge? A creative competition pairing HBCU students with Target mentors. Keep an eye out for Target Scholars as well, a scholastic program offering financial assistance and internship opportunities for HBCU students.
Hey, so I heard from a little birdie that Illuminating Intersectionality is coming back.
Oh yes, it's me. So Illuminating Intersectionality season 2 is coming back. We just got out the studio actually. It is hosted by a friend, Franiqua of Hey Friend Hey in the Friend Zone podcast. It is hosted by Dr. Takia, who hosts Getting Grown alongside myself, Chef Jade, and we each essentially host an episode, and the foundation of this conversation is HBCUs. So we come through the lens of intersectionality, and we talk about, Kia talks about unsung women in the HBCU spaces. Fran talks about the foreign-born experience and how that ties into the HBCU experience because, you know, the diaspora. And then, you know, I came through with food and culture and got a lot of really good vantage points. So it drops homecoming week, and I'm very excited for you all to hear all 3 episodes. Everybody produced their own episode, wrote their own episode, did their own good research, and it's like really good information across the board.
Well, I can't wait to check it out. So make sure you all lock in with Target this homecoming season and beyond at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure. And we're black. Today we're taking a page from the TikTok.
Yes.
And we're having conversations we're having the conversations that we should be having. And we went on TikTok and saw this thread of sorts. I don't know what you call it. And it's like conversations that Black people are afraid to have. And today we're going to do them. Some of them. On our own volition, not the we're not our ancestors type ones.
No, first of all, stop saying that.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. And that's how I know, like, that's why when people be like, Black Lives Matter, I'm like, you don't believe that. So
that's one of them.
Because But yes, having these conversations. And also started out with earlier or the end of last week where that teacher went on TikTok and expressed how behind our youth is as a nation in education. And didn't call them all like dumbasses, but he was saying that there are folks just by large, they're just gonna keep passing through and promoted through grades. And he was like, that's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
And then there was a whole backlash argument of like, oh, well, teachers are supposed to X, Y, and Z, and why don't I know this? And blah, 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 blah. And it was a lot of people didn't know who to place blame on, right? And it was weird because then it was a gay teacher. So it was a lot of gay vitriol at that too, right? And they're like, I hope he don't talk like that to my kid. There's a level of professionalism everywhere, right? Why wouldn't gay people feel the need to like be professional? We know we got that shit hard. What fire it's on the spot. Why wouldn't we act accordingly? But whatever the fuck, right? So that's what drove me to talk about this, right? Because I was kind of like, well, there are some things as Black folks we need to discuss in-house. And because this is a Black show, I feel like this is the place to discuss.
Yeah, you're a guest here. Stay one.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you showed me this wonderful rolling tray that you purchased from the Keith Haring exhibit. It's got all the stick figures.
I was gifted. I was gifted. I did not support.
It got all the figures on it, and it says "Crack is whack." Black people, some of you all might be mad.
You about to say what I'm thinking, and I'm like, yes, preach on, sister.
I look like I am, y'all.
Yeah.
We love her, but Whitney Houston was indeed a crackhead. And
okay. that one left. That's not what I was.
Let's call things things.
That's not what I was
Everybody put the
expecting.
blame
But
on
yes.
Bobby. And while niggas are generally the foundation of the problem, and we don't want to talk because this is our New Jersey princess, our queen. Impossible. You know what I'm saying? Some of your favorite people have fallen, and our good Auntie Nippy fell. She was indeed on crack. And, she indeed brought crack to the feet of Bobbish Brown. Robert Brown did not bring crack to Nippy. And
because I gotta be honest with you. Well, it turned into crack because what happened? They set fire to it.
They set fire to the cocaine, and when you set fire to your cocaine, baby, that's crack.
Baby.
When a fire starts to burn, right, and it starts to spread, she gonna bring that attitude home. You don't want to do nothing with their life. When a fire starts to burn, right, and it starts to spread, she gonna bring that attitude home. You don't want to do nothing with their life.
Happy belated birthday to Mark.
Happy belated birthday, Mark.
And he had the best birthday present ever. He got a brand new apartment.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
My little Virgo.
So shout out to Markeisha.
Yes.
Marknique Worldwide.
Marknique Worldwide, a.k.a. Phyllis, a.k.a.
Phyllis, yeah.
Like, we love Marknique. Congratulations, happy birthday, everything else in between. But yes, I don't mean to be harsh. I'm just being truthful. And sometimes we've got to acknowledge the hard crack rock truths. The crack rock truths. That's what Iyanla should have said.
The crack rock. Because Kia was over at my house and the other day, and we were watching this weird ass Nippy documentary on Lifetime. And remember Nippy's goddaughter, Brandy, that was on Love and Hip Hop?
Yes, with the eyes.
Mama had all the screen time. And she was talking about, about how, like, Nippy's miscarriages and shit like that.
Oh,
and she was
no.
like, what she went through. And it was like, but you weren't a part, Brandy. Like, you weren't there.
Right. You were
Like,
chill.
it was strange. And then they had Sherelle in the documentary, like, of Alexander O'Neal and
Right.
Sherelle.
Never on Sunday.
And
Monday's too soon.
Yeah. And she's just talking about how, like, that was her homegirl. Like, they were just
They just
no.
pulled people out everywhere.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't, like, who do they randomly pull people normally? Like Lena Waithe? You know how, like,
Okay,
they just
all right.
ask.
Raven Simone.
or like Lettucey.
Yeah.
Like, you know how, like, like
You're
somebody,
like, oh,
like, random.
why is Layla Hathaway on here? Well, you know, it doesn't matter. It's Layla Hathaway. I'm
It
gonna
doesn't
listen.
matter. Yeah. That's literally what it is.
And Kamau
That's
Bell.
like, yes.
And Jamila Lemieux. Like, we'd be like, I'm
Yeah.
tuned in.
All of them.
I'm tuned
It's
in.
everybody. Love BB thrown in there too.
Yeah.
Everybody. But yes, that is a conversation we need to. I will agree that cocaine was a her thing. You know, Bobby, and that's very true. Like, Bobby drinks, and we all know that alcohol is.
I mean, and
can
listen,
kill.
and then he got, he was into the drugs.
And then he got on it.
But and it's, again, we're not being disparaging. We're just being truthful. And sometimes we just got to say what it is.
She struggled with using drugs.
It happens
using
in our
cocaine.
families, where it'd be like, what's wrong? Well, he just got a little issue.
But
He's on
so
crack.
what we learned
baby. No, I'm sorry.
so what we learned, so what Kia and I learned in the doc was that, remember there was that famous picture of Whitney's bathroom with like all like the
Yeah.
stuff. So that was a staged photo.
What?
So so Bobby's sister and her were like
Beefing?
sisters, if you know what I
Wait.
mean.
Oh.
So
Oh, wait.
like they were like drug using sisters.
Oh,
together.
that's not.
Like, no.
I was like,
no.
that's so. Okay.
I also think Nippy had a nigga on the side, but that's neither here or there.
It wasn't a nigga.
Because I
It
would
wasn't
too.
a nigga. It wasn't a nigga.
Because I mean, I'm probably Robin, but anyway.
Okay, it was a nigga. On the side. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because also a big part of that doc was attributing to a lot of her messes because she couldn't be free to be gay,
Yeah.
which I kind of believe.
I do believe there was a
That
big
and-
part of that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That and her white slaver and her mother.
Because Clive Davis and his big weighing head ass shoes. So anyway, continue on what you were saying.
But yeah, they staged the photo because both of them wanted to get help. And they said the way that they knew, the only way that they knew how was to stage that photo so that they can have proper help. And so they they leaked that photo to the press, very Kim Kardashian tea.
Oh.
And that's what sparked her, getting help. She ended up moving to she moved to LA for a little bit, getting help and whatever. And then she was just on the beach in Venice, and then she moved back to Atlanta, which is what we kind of know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's when we started. She left Bobby, and then 2009 resurgence of Whitney's. But yeah, it was an interesting story. And of course, Ray J was behind all that.
Of course. What did you think I was going to say initially?
Oh, to stop naming your dishes crack? Like,
Also
like
that,
when
yeah.
people like,
yeah.
like crack pie or like whatever the fuck,
Uh-huh.
or like when you put that weird seasoning on that chicken and makes your chicken look ashy and y'all say it's crack dust,
Mhm.
don't call it that.
Mm-mm. No. Nah, I mean, I'm not gonna stop
Or-
niggas from saying delicious food is crack. Like, it's cultural. It's a part of it.
Yeah.
It's problematic.
Yeah, but
and
it's problematic. Just like
this shit is
people
crack.
were fighting with spaz and like, that's not offensive. I'm like, yeah, it is. you just wanna fight back and hold on to it, but it's offensive. Is it on the higher end of offenses? Depends on who you ask. Because spaz is short for spastic. We all know that. Let's not.
Mhm. It is.
Like the other day, like Busta Rhymes has a new song with one of these new TikTok girls, and he uses the R word like hard. And it's like, I understand as New Yorkly,
Yes.
that is, regardless of how of a problem it is, I understand New Yorkly, things are said in context and it's kind of understood, right? Just like any, it's like if you go to the South, like that's what Paula Dean said. I was like, of course I called her a nigger. Like, why wouldn't she? But why would she
When
know
I
any
tell
better?
you that entire segment was so uncomfortable. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with her walking on her four legs. I'm not getting it. What's the problem? I give her a bed of straw and I give her water and bread every day. Of course she's a nigger. I just don't.
What else am I supposed to call her?
What the fuck?
That's like when Didi was like, "Your slave is behind you," and Kim was like, "I pay her."
When I tell you, that is one of Nene's greatest lines ever. Oh, it's terrible.
And then Candy was like, "Well, I don't know what you pay her."
But it was. Kim had this bitch, and she had that weave. Like, it was just, you know, with that.
And it was like, "Do you pay her?"
No. It didn't feel, it felt like she paid her in shekels and like bowls of soup. Paula Dean definitely, Jelly Roll definitely was an indentured
like, nigga, well, what else was I
servant.
supposed to call her?
Oh my God. What's next?
Yes. Mine,
Yeah.
right? I think I talk about this often. I'll be light with my first one. What you think or how you were raised isn't how society's supposed to go.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, I would say this in the context of food, but I'll make it broader. So, like, you know, a lot of times when you get into arguments of like, well, I was raised like such and such, and people and Black folks, we have a tendency to one up people and be performative in our how we were raised. It's so weird. Like, well, my mama said this, and my mama, well, your mama, you know, didn't have the best ideas. You know, she was wrong.
And that's okay.
Like, I think about it, like, when it comes to food. Like, people, oh, my world famous, oh, my grandmother. A lot of the times, the food is nasty, friends. Like, if your grandma says her shit is world famous, and she ain't never been past the county. So,
I have that on my list. Your mother's food is not that good.
Yeah, it's not.
You've literally got to eat mummy's cooking now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I will say, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, like I have been to places, people, oh, well, mine, you never had my grandmother slamming mac and cheese. It'd be mealy. I've never had mealy mac and cheese until I've been to somebody's
Velveeta
house.
and like just random shit. I know.
Yeah.
Actually good.
Like or the home cooks that put like a bunch of cheeses that don't go together.
Or it's a big block. It's a big block of macaroni pie. And it's just dry and a hulk of hunk.
And as Caribbean people, we should also have a conversation. Macaroni and pie is not great.
This is across the diaspora, this conversation.
Macaroni pie is just not the tea, friends. It's just not.
No.
Some things are just left better for American Black folks.
I likes to crack the top. And I likes to get down in the middle with some creaminess. And that's just, it's just delicious that way.
That's how I roll. You know?
Also, all curries are not created equal.
Yes. This is to settle the diaspora wars between our Indian and West Indian
And also our within our West
Haitians
Indian
and
diaspora, Jamaican
Jamaicans.
curry versus Trini curry. Leave the curries to the Guyanese and the Trinidadians. Yeah, just leave it to that. I do enjoy a curry to go, and I'm not gonna hold you. But for the most part, leave the curries over there.
Yeah. And that's fine. My next one is probably long.
Please.
As Black folks, we have to have a serious conversation about escapism. Right. I understand that sometimes we like things or we hold on to things in our culture because they mean a lot, right? They were pivotal. They were first. A lot of firsts we hang on to. A lot of things because they brought the culture to the main front, whether it be good or bad, right?
Yeah.
And I say this to say, like sometimes we can leave certain things in the past, right? Because it was just problematic.
Yes.
And some films, some even rappers, people, singers, you like the R. Kelly argument, right?
Oh.
Like people will say, I can, separate the artist from the music. We've heard that argument. We've heard that argument about, well, white men get to do X, Y, and Z. Well, why can't we? Blah, blah, blah. All of those slippery slopes to hell. And every time I hear them, I'm like, you're defending what? Like, you're defending the right to be a dickhead and to be an abuser, and you want people to be on your side so bad. Like, and it just doesn't work. And just because you feel like people are lying on your fave, like, that doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. Because for what? I mean, listen, people lie on the internet all the time, but like in instances like that, for what? For what? Just give up the ghost, baby.
Right. Like, I get, like, we tend to, like, I guess we're protective of our own, right? Especially when people make it. Like, I see, like, there's rumors going around, like, Chloe, what's the Little Mermaid girl? She pregnant with the rapper nigga.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah.
And, people are taking this personally. like they raised her. And I'm like, guys, reel it in. Like, escapism is not reality.
Yeah.
You
While I would be disappointed if that were the case. Also, she's a grown woman. She makes her own decisions and a whole lot of money, and she knows what's best for her. And, that is her. And I don't know her.
I don't
And even
know
if I did,
her.
it's not my motherfucking business.
At all.
Escapism. What are some other forms of escapism? Give me some examples.
Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? He's a prime example of, like, yes, we're protecting because they were funny in comedy. First Black, Comedy Central. Had a mental thing, went on Oprah and, Africa, that kind of narrative journey, which is such a big thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just like, nobody, Dave Chappelle, transphobia. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, well, he was telling the truth and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you can grow. you know, even if you don't believe in this stuff, I like, because I honestly consciously don't believe that a lot of people think the things that they spew on the internet either.
No, a lot of them just say shit to be polarizing.
Oh yeah, because everybody, like I always say, people want to stay on the right side of the vote.
Somebody would rather
you know?
say that they shit in the bathtub than to be quote unquote irrelevant.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
People will say anything just for social currency, so they don't.
Or people will, like you were talking
other.
about, be downright hateful in the name of making sure that they stay relevant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Carlos Santana, middle of a set. Man, woman,
she reminds me of a
no
West
bathroom.
Side. Hold on. I've got to stop this song.
Because I'm tired of sharing bathrooms.
Like,
in the middle of fucking Oya Como Va.
How often do you have to go? And also, when you're doing your business, do you like, and also, aren't we in the middle of a song? How is this affecting your life in any way? Which brings me to my next point.
Mm-hmm.
Parents. Black parents. Black grandparents. Black evangelical aunties and uncles. Loving your gay kids, nephews, nieces, cousins. See also just loving your LGBTQIA plus kids in your family won't send your black ass to hell, but hating them will.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
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 Yeah.
If I believed in hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I often, in personal stories, my mother and I have had to come a long way with this. Because when I first came into this, who I am, she, you know, it was very much like love the person, not the sin type of thing. And then,
which I hate that expression as well.
Me too. So, you know, and I had an honest conversation with her. I was like, so you're gonna put me up in the same category as murderers, rapists, and abusers? She was like, well, no, I would never think you do anything. I didn't raise you to be that way. I was like, so why would you say that to me? And so she had to sit with that and wrestle with it for a long time. And, you know, and now we're in a better place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was in my, you know, but that, you know, even the smallest things, when you think you're in an okay spot, it's like, no. And mind you, I'm not asking my mother, I never asked my mother to walk down with a P flag sign or anything like that. Like, no. But when you start using verbiage like that to equate,
no, it's true.
You know,
that's harmful
with sin and stuff. That's harmful, and I know a lot of that comes out of a lot of Black parents' mouths, and I think it's because of the fact that we are culturally religious people.
Well, yeah, and it also comes from and don't ever go back and critically think about how we obtained that religion. Now, because church has become such a cultural staple among Black people,
yeah,
and
it's
how
an
it ties
icon
historically
thing.
We also forget that also comes with a lot of respectability politics, and because it was used to keep Black people in line. And on top of that, many things were omitted in order to go along with the white agenda. And so that while we sit up here talking about things that Black people, the conversation we ain't ready to have, how y'all need to think about how Black people got Christianity. And I'm not shitting on Christianity. What I'm shitting on are the evangelical white supremacist ideologies that come along with that you continue to perpetuate through the church, shame, hate, so forth and so on. What were you about to say?
Let's take a break first.
Yes.
And I have something to tell you that I learned. And I was a little embarrassed about learning, but I feel like I should share it. This is the right place to share it.
Yes.
And this is the right conversation. So let's take a break. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hi, this segment is brought to you by Target and Black Beyond Measure. It's that time of year again to bring the HBCU energy. Target has you covered from a range of Black-owned or founded products alongside impactful opportunities to support and invest in the next generation of HBCU excellence. Lock in with Target this homecoming season and beyond at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure. And of course, Target is also sponsoring the new season of Illuminating Intersectionality featuring Jay, Takia, and Fran.
Communication skills. It might sound like a funny question, but we have to ask ourselves, is there any 21st century skill more important than being able to sustain coherent, confident conversation? Now, I make my living talking to people. Nobel Prize winners, truck drivers, billionaires, kindergarten teachers, heads of state.
And we're back. Okay, yes. So I mentioned this on Twitter, but I want to come in depth here because this is a great conversation to have. The story of Josiah Henson. Do you know who Josiah Henson is?
I don't think so.
Okay. So Josiah Henson was the real inspiration, and I say real in quotations because we come to find out later that wasn't it. But Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, it was inspired by the story of Josiah Henson. We learned that is erroneous because of the fact that she wrote the book after she met him. And remember, Harriet Beecher Stowe was a white lady who wrote this book about slavery in America. And it was the book that started the Civil War. Damn, literature and shit don't start wars anymore. Like, rap beefs don't start wars and killing niggas anymore. Like, art is dead.
I mean, just...
Anywho.
Say less, nigga. We could absolutely.
Yeah. So, like, this podcast start wars, nigga. Today's title of the episode.
I need you to go, gra. Gra, gra.
Anywho. And honestly, this is something that the story that I read in the Atlantic was interesting because it talks about how we as Black people have erroneously accepted what Uncle Tom is truly supposed to mean. So Josiah Henson was a slave who was his plantation was, or the plantation where he was on, it was in Maryland. And a lot of people don't think that Maryland was a slave state, but it definitely was. And so one day, Josiah, the plantation owner and Josiah, like, he was on some like Django Unchained type shit, but he wasn't disparaging to the other slaves. He was just, the owner just happened to be nicer to him for whatever reason. And so when the plantation owner ran out of money and he needed to move his slaves and merch all to his brother's plantation across in Kentucky or somewhere. So he asked Josiah to take him and 20 other slaves to the other thing. Now, they get to the midpoint to Ohio, where it was a free state at the time. And so he was left with this conundrum of, do I keep going? Do we let all these people go? We leave freely or whatever. But he had this really weird religious condemnation because it was ingrained in people that slavery was a God-given right and that slave ownership was a blessing, right? Like, you've been blessed with slaves, you are wealth and prosperity, all that stuff, which is where prosperity preaching comes from, which was also interesting to learn. And so He, because of his religious dedication, he rounded everybody up and went on the trail and didn't set anybody free and went. And so he wrestled with that forever. And he was like, why the fuck didn't I, stupid, right? So he eventually got free and set others free as well. And he actually set more people free than Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman only freed about 70 people. He freed about 115 or so. The reason why we don't know about him is because he freed them and ran up to Canada. So what he made up is Davis, Canada or something, right outside of Toronto. Right off the border.
What's Canadian Black history look like? I'll be teaching that up there.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
I don't know. But Uncle Tom, everybody thinks about Uncle Tom and like he ratted out people or whatever. And it's like, not necessarily. Uncle Tom in the book was actually provided a safe haven. Provided a safe haven for people who were escaping. And in the book, and he had to like explain himself later what happened because this story kind of plays out in Uncle Tom's Cabin. And so it's erroneous to think that Uncle Tom is a person who will sell themselves out for white people when in reality, Uncle Tom didn't do any of that. He actually was protecting folks from slavery or getting captured or whatever, trying to hide them so that they can get free. They had this whole campaign to change Uncle Tom's museum and stuff to Josiah Henson's museum. It's a long read on The Atlantic, but it's a really good story. And it taught me a lot because it was just like, well, I didn't know this. And of course, they're not going to teach this in school. They barely taught Harriet Tubman in slavery in school. I don't know what the hell they teach now.
I don't know what the fuck. There was an unfortunate blip in history. I don't know.
There was an American snafu.
It's a little snag there, but blessing right over. Let's get to the crack era and Ronald Reagan.
Exactly. And that's what's interesting to me too. They can smooth slavery over all they want.
They be jumping straight from the Civil War right into the Great Depression.
Right. But they can't explain away 1980.
No.
That's something.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, you can't escape the 80s because it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. God. It affected everyone, especially us. Speaking of slavery, I got another one. Whooping your kids is perpetuating slave master and or what's them people that were what are them people that was in the field with them? Who was them? The white trash ones. I have a theory on them. The one, what was it called? What was the ones who was out on the daily?
Like the sharecroppers and them.
No, not the sharecroppers. The niggas who was the white men who was in the field doing the master's work as far as like whooping niggas and shit.
Oh, I don't know the terms. White.
Yeah. Anyway, them whooping your kids is no better.
Do you know what you're supposed to do when you get angry?
No. What am I supposed to do, Mr. D?
You need to keep your hands to yourself to stay out of trouble. Cause if your hands land on somebody else,
is no fucking better. It's not rearing them. It's not going against the Bible. It's not, that idiot that spare the rod, spoil the child. No, nigga, what it is perpetuating slave master behavior is what it is, because you're taking a child who is learning and developing and teaching them that if they don't fall in line with what you think is supposed to be, they deserve somebody to put their hands on them. But you willfully go and fuck up and do shit, accidentally forget to scan something at the motherfucking self-checkout or whatever, and let somebody come put their hands on you, you're going to be screaming all over the place. You don't have no right to put his hands on me, so why you got a right to put your hands on a developing child or a belt or a vacuum cleaner cord or whatever, a hanger or a chancleta, what makes you think that you got the right to do that? If somebody don't have the right to do that to you when you do shit that you know you ain't got no business doing.
Agreed. I do think physical abuse is a sign of lack of emotional and intelligence, and then other types of intelligence here, because of the fact that if you can't use your words effectively, then what makes you think your hands could? You know, like I had a conversation with my mother, and she was talking about my cousin he's 3 and he is a pandemic baby. And so, you know, pandemic babies are a little different than, you know, because they're used to masks and a lot of stuff going on. And so he also, he's a rambunctious one, but he's not bad. He's just, you know, he's 3. So my mother was like talking about, you know, you better whoop that butt or whatever to my cousin, his dad. And I was like, well, Ma, you can't say that in public. And she was like, well, why not? She was like, effective. I was like, And I was like, let me ask you something. And she was like, yeah. I was like, my cousin, the baby. I was like the father, who's my cousin. I was like, he was whipped, right? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, he also went to prison, right? She was like, he did. I was like, I've only been whipped like twice in my life, and look where I am. And I'm not trying to like say that to compare, but I was like, Ma, you can't say that physical abuse will assist in rearing somebody a successful life. Like, that doesn't work that way. There's way too many extenuating factors, and you know, I just want people to think that through. Like, what makes me think of, if I hit my kid, this is going to teach them not to do it again or whatever.
Right. Like why is that the logic? Think about it.
You're teaching them to fear you or to fear to do this thing. Because what they may be doing may not be wrong. They're just being inquisitive about it,
Precocious.
Right? Right. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like in California, everybody had like electric ranges. And so, of course, you know, ooh, it's red. When it gets too hot, you want to touch it's red or whatever. My mother kept telling me not to do it. So, you know, what she did was, she didn't put my hand on it because that's abuse, but she like over it to make sure it's hot. And I'm like, ooh, hot.
I'm sorry. Not XD
Never fuck with it again.
Penny.
Yeah, I had a...
Mama, no.
Mama, no. Exactly. But like, abuse is not helpful.
No, it's
not. Abuse is a cycle that has been... It's either you're an abuser / slaver, or you think you're an animal. And animals don't even do that to their young.
Yeah, which one is it? And you don't want to admit either one of those. So it might be time to reassess, you know, what you think discipline is supposed to look like and what discipline really actually means. You know, like, and what is supposed to be discipline. Like, you actually helping to align them in ways is not necessarily discipline either, because they are autonomous little creatures. They are autonomous human beings. And so, you know, that's something we got to keep in mind. Like, our children don't belong to us. Our children don't deserve for somebody to put their hands on them as they are developing and learning in life.
Because like you're right. They're going to develop this complex where they think it's okay to accept this type of treatment. Yeah. You know, or they think it's okay to do it to somebody else because that's how I was raised.
Then you do that psychological bullshit, fucking up their nervous systems and whatnot, talking about, I'm going to whoop you when I get home. So now they got 8 hours of thinking about getting their ass beat. And like, come on now. You're doing all kinds of shit that white people did. That white people did to us because they thought warfare. That we deserved for somebody, that we needed somebody to look after us and tell us how we needed to. We was uncivilized and uneducated, and they needed to whip us into motherfucking shape. You're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Let's take a break real quick.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with more Getting Grown.
More at the kitchen table.
Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Once again, this segment was brought to you by Target and Black Beyond Measure. Target has you covered from a range of Black-owned or founded products alongside impactful opportunities to support and invest in the next generation of HBCU excellence. Lock in with Target this homecoming season and beyond at target.com/blackbeyondmeasure.
Hey everybody, we want to tell you about a podcast we think you're going to love. It's called See the Thing Is, and it's hosted by Grammy award-winning R&B artist Bridget Kelly and media personality Mandy B, aka our friends. Every week, Bridget Kelly and Mandy B offer grown, honest, and slightly toxic perspectives on all things music, pop culture, and of course, dating and relationships. Do you have a hard time finding new music? Are you a millennial who misses what life was like in the 2000s? Are you interested in multiple perspectives on relationships and dating? And are you interested in a non-male bashing podcast that holds both sexes accountable? See the Thing Is a podcast that allows space for a wide range of thoughts and emotions. Most recently, the ladies have sat down with Ari Lennox, Big Frida, Robert Glasper, Chloe Bailey, and more. So join Bridget and Mandy every week as they update you on everything going on in the world with their polarizing hot takes. Subscribe to See the Thing Is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. And we're back. I have one. This is about to be real problematic, but
I wonder
this
if it's the same as my next one. I'm ready.
But this came up recently in the news because at first I was like, "What the fuck is she doing all this promo?" And then I saw, and then I watched, and I said, "Oh." Conversations that we should have as Black people, but this is more of a task. I think we all need to get DNA tests.
Oh.
Not only to know who we are and where we come from as a people, but also to know who we are and where we come from as a people. And I say this because Kerry Washington has a book coming out where she learned very recently that her daddy is not her daddy.
What?
She was told, she had to find out through Ancestry.com because she was going to be on an episode of Finding Your Roots with Dr. Lewis Gates. And then so they had to tell her ahead of time, like, oh, Mom, Dad, I'm about to do this show about finding your roots. And they hit her with a text message like, so we're, yo, daddy.
Damn, they was gonna take that to the grave. See, Black people, stop with the motherfucking secrets. That's another part. But
and remember, I told you that personal story that I have is very similar, and I was like, that is so unfair.
It is.
That's so unfair. You're robbing your kid of a whole nother life, and I understand you may be wanting to protect them, and sometimes that might be a thing, like. Depending upon what type of situation it was, but more often than not, you got to let them know somehow.
Ignorance or a lack of knowledge is not protection, and no. I had to tell somebody this recently. Like, sometimes we love somebody so hard and want to protect them so hard that the things we end up doing end up hurting the person that we love even more in the name of trying to protect them.
Your love shouldn't hurt. You are my protector. Love shouldn't hurt. You are my protector. Love shouldn't hurt. You are my protector. Love shouldn't hurt.
I have that in my own family where I've had a family member find out that they were adopted at the encouragement of the rest. It's like, you need to tell this person, you need to tell this person, you need to tell this person, but it's nobody else's place to do so. And then what happened? This person found out, and it was like World War III, okay? 3P. So you are doing a disservice to somebody by keeping information. It ain't no better than cheating on somebody. You are not giving them the choice to do what they want to do with their lives. And so when you keep that type of information, you not only withhold somebody from being able to have the full scope for their own maybe medical history in the future or what have you, but also just their personal choices on what they want to do with that information. And that's not fair to anybody. I don't care if it's the ugliest truth. They deserve to know.
Let people have their own agency and autonomy to know what to get, to allow them to have the ability to do what they want to do with their own lives.
Absolutely.
Like, even if it is volatile information, right? Like, let people are grown. Like, and even people like, oh, they're kids, they don't need to know that. I agree that there needs to be a level of opacity, but I don't think you need to stop. You don't need to lie to your kids either.
I mean, you don't need to go to Little Jacquees and be like, your mama was a crackhead, but you could there's a way to be. Exactly. Your mom, the woman who birthed you or the person who birthed you, had some issues. They had some things going on, little illness.
Life was happening.
They needed some help, and they didn't have the capability of taking care of a child in the way that you deserve right now. And so, there's ways to have these conversations, but you have to be willing to want to have the conversation, and then you will learn the vernacular and the things to say along the way, but you got to have the desire to even want to be transparent. And I think because we have such a history of keeping things secret, from recipes to family shit, that, it has become a very harmful cycle of things, which brings me to my next one. All right. Stop making the pedophiles, or the sexual deviants or what have you comfortable in the family in the name of not wanting to fuck up the quote unquote family dynamic.
That goes with my next one. Black folks, stop calling these little girls fast.
Oh yeah, also that. Also that. Like the uncles, the cousins, the whoever's, some of the aunties, let's be clear. We all seen Antoine Fisher. We all know what's going on. Like, all of that. Stop doing this because you don't want to face the discomfort of how fucking sick what these people are doing is. Because you don't want to fuck up the dynamic of people being able to come together for a family reunion. I'll set this whole motherfucker on fire and I don't give a fuck. Stop making these people in these families who are inflicting harm on sometimes multiple family members. Stop making them feel comfortable and okay to continue perpetuating these nasty ass cycles. It's sick.
You gotta slow down, children, 'cause you know too bad. Mama say you.
But yeah, these little stop saying fast tail girls. All right, like there is nothing. Yeah. Because that aids in this protection of patriarchy, right? This idea that these young ladies need to cover themselves up for, or worry about the disgusting, pervy ways of grown adult men. Yeah, you know what I mean? And stop blaming it. Well, if these girls will stop wearing short skirts or whatever, then these men wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. Nope, you're perpetuating rape culture, and that's not okay.
Yeah, and if you didn't make them feel comfortable, like I said, in these family dynamics, if you didn't make them feel like that and put the onus on them, like stop putting it on these children.
Right. All right. My next one is a little lighter.
Okay.
We as Black people, we got to stop hyping white people up. And I say this to say, like,
oh yeah,
when they do quote unquote Negro things, like you have this white boy who is a dancer or whatever, they're doing all like the Dougie or whatever
Electric slide, the fucking Tamia
whatever
shuffle.
Negro du jour dance that a white does and is doing it well. They're not the second coming of Christ.
No, they're not at all, actually.
If anything, they're there.
Doing the electric
They're
slide.
there. They're doing the electric slide. There's nothing exceptional. Yes, we know by large that, white folks don't have rhythm. But you know what? There's a good fraction of black folks that don't have rhythm either. So,
Also.
but they're not being celebrated. My goodness.
But yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The little white boy doing the Dougie. It's not a thing. It's not, it's not the second coming. It's not, it's
just because this little nigga boom cacked at a fucking family. Like, I told you, I'm over the cookout conversation. Nobody can come. Half of the niggas can't come. There is no cookout. It is canceled. The grills are off. They are dirty. We lit them on fire. Like, there is no fucking cookout. I'm not coming. It's like that goddamn bourbon ball you all. I was like, I'm not going to this shit.
Ooh, that was a mistake I made.
You did, but we're all entitled to some.
And to be honest, I didn't know what was going on.
Of course,
with the goings on back then, and now that I do know, I am regretful of some of the things that
you can't control what you don't know, but some people do know things, and they still continue to make people feel comfortable. Quit doing that.
Yeah.
You can choose your family after that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to settle for what's there just because you're blood related if they are absolute pure trash. Oh, but that was the point before. Yeah, stop hyping up these white people who know how to dance. And sing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? If it's just like, oh, I like how that person sounds, but not just because it's a white person who go, ooh. Like,
It's like how I feel about Tori Kelly. Like, I know she white. Okay, but I like her.
Is she white? I thought she was white. I thought you told me she wasn't.
Oh, I've never been of that camp. I've always
maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I know her daddy is like Jamaican.
That's
somewhere,
what I'm saying. Like what?
But just because I know that fact don't stop her from being white.
I was like,
me.
she's white.
So
she's white.
Yeah, like she white, and it's fine. And I'm okay with her being white. And y'all should be okay with white people being white. Why do they need to be apart?
Why do they need to be apart?
Like, I was watching TikTok and they were talking about this black girl. Of course, she was saying something inflammatory to get people like attention. She was like, I miss white people. Pause. And I was like, whoa. And she was like, I miss white people music. She was like, where Gaga at? Where's like, what's my age again? What's my age again? I was like, that's very true.
Oh, you're right.
Like,
because everybody's like,
yes. All these little white boys are little rappers or
Ariana Offset and like, yes, I agree. Mm-hmm. Nobody's white anymore.
Yeah, somebody posted though, like white people don't have enough money to afford garages anymore either, so they can't form a band.
Oh.
I was like, that's real. You got Marilyn and Kitty raising their teenage kid in a 2-bedroom apartment. Where are they going?
Of course they're going to try to be urban
together.
Yeah. Be sitting in their room acting like, quote, Sister Act lines and shit like that.
They don't have a garage to play guitar.
But I'm tired of seeing little TikToks of kids do. But Rita Louise Watson. Now, hold on now. I need you to go do quotes from Can't Hardly Wait or whatever the fuck y'all watch. Like Coraline. I don't know.
The earth is my planet.
The earth is my planet.
Traffic. Looking for my chapstick. Feeling kind of car sick. There's a Ford Maverick.
No.
Tay Diggs' best role.
I think we all know this. I think we all just know this, but it's just, it bears repeating at this point. OJ did it.
Why he said on the internet the other day he afraid to come back to LA because he go see somebody who did it.
Yeah, nigga, when you look in the mirror.
Shouldn't we be learning something? Say the line, Bart! I didn't do it.
Who is my reflection?
So we had a in-depth Black Lady courtroom yesterday because we were talking about conspiracy theories and how we feel like there's conspiracy theories related to OJ. Because we were like to push or to quell blacks in LA, because we were thinking about like the Rodney King riots and shit like that, and how all that was just recent, and how all that was living up to like even fiercer racial tensions here in Los Angeles. And the fact that Chris was like, he feels as though the verdict was what it was so that they can quell a lot of the
racial tensions.
The racial tensions
I believe
in
that.
LA. Because it makes sense, because why is most of the jury pool black? Why? That's never
He's
a thing
high profile.
ever.
He
And
was
high
like,
profile.
America's sweetheart nigga, and he loved white people.
And that's when niggas loved white people too. Niggas loved niggas who loved white people at the time. Because they're like, oh, he made it. You remember? Because that's the big thing. Oh, Hertz commercial.
Which is why all the
He made
TV
it.
daddies was Republican at the time. Uncle Phil and motherfucking Carl Winslow and all of them. And Ray, and even Ray on Sister Sister, when he ran for Republican senator. Like, that's why they did all that shit.
Lastly, a lot of black folks are Republican.
A lot of black people are Republican.
Yeah, a lot of black folks are Republican. Your grandmamas, your granddaddies.
Be conservative
sure.
as hell.
Exactly. They may not be, fiscally, because we is all po. But when it gets down to the brass tacks, niggas
they don't
is
like niggas.
abortion.
They don't like gays. They hate trans people. What else is there?
They don't like condoms, but they don't like reproductive rights.
They like to shame natural bodily functions. All the things. All the things.
Conservative. Don't do it. They think everybody's a welfare queen.
Yeah.
No.
If your
Who's
skirt's
most
above
on
your
welfare?
knees, you're a hoe. You know what I'm saying? They perpetuate a lot of that family pedophilia bullshit. Just couple shades away from the ka. And that's your grandma. But you know, y'all don't want to.
Yeah. Granny is Clayton Bigsby.
Your grandma is Clayton. Bigsby.
The grandma's Clayton Bigsby.
Your grandma is a nigger lover. Your grandma. Oh, if we could call the episode that, I would.
I know.
Woo!
Yeah. That ends today's show.
yeah. I think that's a good hard stop.
Yeah. We should revisit this sometime, because there is a lot of things that we got to get to, like more family secrets, and
God. Share the recipes, because you will die one day.
And the welcome committee at churches, please stop doing that. Like, I don't need to stand up every time to visit you. Like, black churches are so. What if I want to praise the Lord, but I'm an introvert? See, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love the Lord, but I don't need to fellowship. Nah.
Stop sitting visitors in a separate section. It's separatists.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
paying members
I
and
want all of you
non-paying members
bitches
only.
to know that these people don't go to church and shit.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And then you have the one people over there. It's okay, sister in Christ.
Yeah,
Nah,
then they come
you just
over trying to
shamed me.
shake your hands and shit. Like, I don't want and stop stop. I don't want to do that.
Phony.
Phony. Oh, I got do I want to do this?
Yes, you do.
Ooh, this is brave.
Okay. Brave. I might agree with you.
In a world filled with racism, white supremacy, microaggressions, macroaggressions, that come in like the all forms all day. It's not always racism. Sometimes you are sucking.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are sucking, nigga. Like
Sometimes it's just you.
Sometimes you're doing a terrible job.
Yeah. Sometimes people be like, oh, it's this ism and that ism and blah, blah, blah. Like, I was listening to Black Fat Femme and like a lot of this conversation they have is true. Yeah, it's racism and stuff like that. But I was sitting there and I was like, no, sometimes it's niggas. You know what I mean? Like it's individualized. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Yes, it's a collective problem.
Absolutely.
However,
what? And does it cause them to be able to dig out them microaggressions they be ready to use? Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's be clear, but sometimes.
It's you. You just suck.
It's you. You. It's you at 2, okay, nigga? You are being a loser. And it's just, and you just need to own that. Just own it and do better.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about pull yourself up by your bootstraps. No, nigga, do fucking better. Like, sometimes you just need to move different and be better.
Yeah. That's today's episode. Be better.
I can't wait to have conversations white people aren't ready to have. Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah. That is a good one. But that's the end of today's episode. Again, tonight, Queer Day at the LA LGBT Center.
Yes.
And also get your tickets for BFF.
Go support all my boos, Dr. John Paul, Joho, and Shar Jossel. Y'all know I love me some Shar. Y'all know I love me some XD. Y'all know I just, I love me some community. So make sure you all support and go vote for the Black Kitchen series.
Yes. Go vote for the Black Kitchen series. Vote for Jade as the best host.
Vote for Jade.
You should have, can you do campaign stickers? You should do that.
You gonna make it for me?
I'll think about it. I might. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I might.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, I probably will.
I know.
All right. Until next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.